Hey everyone, my wife recently posted some pictures of our latest project, a wood-fired hot tub. We worked on it together over a couple of weeks and pulled off a really nice project here. There was a lot of questions about how we did it, and I just want to take you for a little tour and show you some of the ideas that we had to make it all work. So we started with a 170-gallon tank, a stock tank that we bought at our farm store. It is a 2 by 2 foot tall by 6 foot long tub. Let me show you my plumbing setup. I have a 400 gallon per hour pump. Pumps the water through the lower port into a PIX adapter, 3/4 inch flexible tubing, and then I have it teed off to drain the tub when I desire to do that. And then from there it's going into a T, a reducing T that comes out 1/2 inch on both of those ports. And then I'm running through two 20-foot copper coils, which are running through this area of the heater. They're very random because I believe that will help the heat transfer better to them. And then they come out the top side off of this one and go back into another T, combined back into here, 3/4 inch back to PEX again, and then back into the tub. This is our heater. It's a Char-Broil 16-inch bullet smoker that we converted with a few modifications. Obviously we put our copper coils in here. They are all in this section right here. This is being blocked off. Here's our where we put the fire and the wood. I'm going to start that up shortly. I put this block here to kind of create a draft through here. It's like a rocket stove. And then I put the lid on mostly, and I leave the back part open. Draws a lot of heat through this area, through these randomly coiled copper. So I just have some dry wood shavings in here to get it started. They take off really easy. Use pieces of wood that are rather short, split, and of course dry. They work the best with no bark, because the tar from the bark, it creates a lot of smoke, and it probably gets all over my pipes. Cool water running through this smoke and heat lends itself to putting a coating of tar all over the pipes. And I don't know how long that's going to take for that to be a problem, but it hasn't really been a problem yet. We've used this system now about a half a dozen times. This is what it looks like. It works, and it's holding up really well. So when this heat takes off there, I'm going to put the lid mostly on. I'll leave it cracked in the back, and it makes a nice, draws a lot of heat through there. So we'll just wait for that to get fired up. In the meantime, what we're using for to keep the chemicals, keep chlorine in the water, just this little dispenser, and we put the chlorine tablets in there. So we leave it mostly shut because it's a pretty small tank. We really only have 125 gallons of water in here, because when you put two bodies in here, the thing is full. So you don't want to add any more than that. So it doesn't take a lot of chlorine to keep things stable. And if the water gets a little funky, then you can drain it. It's not a really big deal to drain it or to fill it back up again. So if I really maintain this fire and I keep it stoked really good, I can get about 15 degrees an hour of heat on this thing. So right now, I believe we're at about 75 degrees. We want to get it up to about 102. So it should take about 2 hours. Put the can in there to keep the heat and the flames diverted around through my coil system. That's the only reason that's there. So right now our water's at 78, and coming out of here, it's only been about 5 minutes that it's been on. We're coming out at about 85 degrees. So not doing too bad. One of the options we went for after using it a couple of times is we thought that it would be nice to have some cushion around the outer lip here, and it is very nice. We just use regular 3/4 inch pipe insulation If I had it to do over again, I'd probably pick 1-inch pipe insulation so it wraps around all the way. But it is it's a worthwhile upgrade. And one thing we don't have figured out yet is our cover. We're using a fold-up table on the top, which looks kind of ridiculous. So this is the normal look for this setup when it's working well. There's no smoke. The lid's cracked open a little bit, and the vents are open, front door's open, and it gets a nice airflow in there, and it's heating up the coils very nicely. When you reach the desired temperature in your hot tub, then you just have to go ahead and close the door, close the vents and the lid, and the thing will go out. Or just as you're approaching that temperature, just stop feeding wood into there, and the fire will die down and things will level off. A couple of things worth mentioning is I don't currently have a filtration system. There's a little foam filter in the pump. It's not very effective for filtering out little things. It's only made to save the pump. You're using 115 volts to power this pump, so just ensure that it is connected to a GFCI or ground fault circuit interrupter, so that if something goes wrong, it pops the breaker. I'm connected to a extension cord that's connected to a GFCI outlet, so please don't take a shortcut on that. As an insulator for the bottom of the tank, I used a piece of 5/8 foam board, and I wrapped the edge in duct tape so it kind of matches pretty well and keep the durability up a little bit. But that's a really good thing, is for keeping the heat in the tank from transferring to your base, and it also keeps it from getting scratched up. So I recommend that. 88 degrees. Coming out of the port, we are at 97. So the temperature is right about where we want it. It's time to suit up and hop in. I don't think you want to see that. If you have any questions, make sure you post it down below, and we'll answer them best we can. Thanks for watching.